Welcome students. In this lecture, let us look at the basic definition of data analysis, and we also will look at the different dimensions of data analysis from the social media perception. So data analysis, it is the art of converting a regular or a normal data into a more intelligible form. That means how you are going to take information from the raw data is all about data analysis. You can do data analysis in different ways and different types and different methods, but broadly speaking, you will have four major operations to be done or to be considered when you do a data analysis. That is called as the four dimensions of data analysis in whatever may be the application. So these four dimensions of data analysis are the depth of analysis, the machine capacity, the domain of analysis, and the velocity of the data. So in this lecture, let us look at the different dimensions of data analysis. The first one is the depth of analysis. So whenever you receive a data, sometimes you may receive a data offline or sometimes you may receive a data online. Whatever it may be, the first thing is how much information do you want to extract from the data? Is it a shallow information or a depth information? So based on that, this type or this specific dimension will vary. And the second one is the machine capacity. Sometimes you may be needing to extract large amount of data, but what happens is your processor specification or the capacity of your computer may not be large enough to extract and store large amount of data. So machine capacity also will play a crucial role whenever you talk about data analysis. The third one is the domain of analysis. So from where do you receive the data? Is it from the internal domain or an external domain? When I say internal domain, all the social media data which you receive within an organization can be called as an internal domain, and all the data which are public, say for example Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all these can be called as the external domain. So the analysis also differs because of the quantity of the data and the heterogeneous nature of the data between the internal domain and the external domain. And fourth one is velocity of data, which is very, very important whenever you talk about online data. So when you receive continuously data, the volume of data which you are receiving may be extremely high. In that sense, how do you do the data analysis? Are your mathematical operations, are your computing facilities good enough to handle this live voluminous data? A big question mark. So this velocity of data also plays a major role whenever data analysis comes into the picture. Now let us see one by one in a detail. The first one is the depth of analysis. So it is determined by the amount of time available to come up with the results of a project. So I have 1 month time or I have 2 months time and I need lots and lots of information from my original input. That is absolutely fine where you are going to go much more deeper into the data and say that you are finding the data. But how many, say for example, a company IBM wants to check how popular they are. They need more amount of information to validate their statement that they are more popular. So they are going to find out information on the social media platforms and try to find out tags with the questions such as, say, for example, how many people mentioned IBM in their tweets? How many people mentioned the word um, some products of IBM in their tweets? How many times were the words IBM, Microsoft, and Amazon mentioned during the day? Which author had the highest number of posts on the computing during the day? So these are different types of questions which can be derived from the data available in day-to-day life. Once these data are arrived, these people will do text mining in the sense that they try to extract the most important keywords and try to find out if there are anything related with their hypothesis where IBM is popular or not. So these type of data analysis fall under the category of depth or extreme depth, where more amount of input data and more amount of processing are necessary. The second one is the machine capacity. So how machine capacity affects your processing conditions. So what happens is there are two types of data. One is the online and offline data. That's what we know. But we can put again these data under a broader category with real time, near real time, and ad hoc, and also deep analysis. So based on this, your conditions may vary. So whenever you have a real-time data, you may require a high CPU, and whenever you have a near real-time, you may secure a moderate CPU, ad hoc and moderate CPU, and deep analysis high CPU. So based on the CPU speed, also your data analysis. Welcome back, students. In this lecture, we will look at the other two types of domains of data analysis. One is the external social media, and the other one is the internal social media. So, whenever we talk about external social media, it is all about how the data is developed or trained. You can find out the data available in Twitter, in Facebook, and LinkedIn, and all other social media platforms fall under the external social media category. However, there are some other data which are very specific for some organizations, which we call it as internal social media. However, the data analysis between internal social media and external social media will vary. So that is what we are going to find out in this lecture. So what is external social media data analysis? The first one is data in motion. There are two types of data, again in the domains. One is the data in motion or the data at rest. So whenever I say data in motion, it is the live data or the online data. So in external social media, predominantly the data which you are going to receive per second per minute is extremely very high. So in that case, it is up to the user to determine whether they need to go for a shallow data analysis or a in-depth data analysis. If you prefer to go for a shallow data analysis, there are some metrics which should be used for such type of data, which is called a simple social metrics, where whenever a data is available, it can be stored or buffered for a small period of time, and then you can make use of your data analysis tools to carry out the analysis part. However, there are other types also, which is the ad hoc analysis, which is again a temporary analysis, which can be done at a relatively large amount of data in comparison to the first type. And the third type is the most deep analysis, which is again extremely time consuming and also resource consuming. On the other hand, we have the data at rest, where the data is available in the form of an offline data. That means it is stored in some device. So their capacity, their volume may not be that um, high in comparison to data at motion. So what are they? Again, you can make use of the same simple social matrix. You can do the ad hoc analysis, and also you can use the deep analysis. So what are the duration of analysis? The duration of analysis can be 1 day. If you want to go for SS, that means the data must be stored for a single day. Then you have the ad hoc analysis, where you can have the data available for 1 month. Sometimes there are some applications which demands the data to be stored for 1 month continuously, whereby you can actually get the information from those data. There are some other data which demands the data to be stored or available for continuously 3 months. So the data you are going to have for analysis will be extremely high. The processing may be difficult, however, the answer or the hypothesis which you are going to prove will be the best possible. You can also do a deep analysis, but whenever you go for a deep analysis, you must consider the limitations of your processor and the limitations of your. So this is a small example wherein you can find an affinity matrix where the class name is also given and the different products also given that you can find out how often a product is being used. So the question is the correct nature of the popular of the product can be identified with a simple matrix, or do you need a large amount of data? That completely depends upon the business application and the level of process. So this is the complete data which is available for external social media. You can find the different types of data in terms of velocity, and you can also find the different types of analysis from the simple social metrics to the deep analysis, and you can also find the practical examples. So depending upon the application, you have to choose any one among these.